UMass Basketball Travis Ford Show. Sponsored by Coca-Cola.
Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to the UMass Basketball Show brought to you by Coca-Cola. Scott Coen, Travis Ford in for another week, and we always like 2-win weeks, and that's what we got, Coach. One tremendous win on the road against Boston College, and then beating Toledo at home on Saturday night.
Yeah, it has been a great week. We finally had a week where we actually played some games. We've been going in stretches where one game at a time and having a lot of time off, so it was good to really test our basketball team. Obviously, BC was an incredible challenge for us. We knew going into the game the history of the game and what Boston College has done to UMass basketball the past 8 to 10 years, and going there is never easy. And then we had to turn right around and just a couple of days later play against a very, very good Toledo basketball team. So it's been a very productive week. And like you mentioned, it's always better to have a show after 2 wins. It's a lot more enjoyable, that's for sure.
Well, you talked about the record and the history between the two schools. To beat them here at home would have been one thing, but to go on the road and beat them in Conti Forum, that's a tremendous. You've beaten them and Syracuse, and these wins are going to be huge for you come March if we get ourselves in that kind of situation.
Absolutely, it's always. I tell our team all the time, I enjoy going on the road and playing. Not that I don't love playing at home, and I think I'm always a big believer that home games you should win. I don't care who you play. I think you should always win your home games. Now, the greatest challenge in all of sports is going on somebody else's home turf and trying to beat them, whatever sport it is. And no different with a Boston College type team, a team that when we were going in there had only lost one game, playing tremendous basketball, very talented team, and we have an incredible amount of respect for Boston College and Coach Skinner's basketball team. So our kids went in there and just played really, really hard, and it was a very rewarding game because we won it with, I think, our work ethic. But going on the road is not easy, and I think our kids should have gained some confidence with games like Syracuse and Boston College, no question. Those games should give our team some confidence going into January, February, March.
All right, well, listen, let's take a look at highlights from the BC game. And again, big win on the road against a great team. And boy, I'll tell you what, there's Al Skinner, and he certainly comes as advertised. Tell us about the game, Coach.
Well, we went into the game really trying to slow down their point guard Rice and wanted to get out on the break, as you see here. We wanted to push the pace no matter what the score was. We did not care whether we were making threes or not. And that should be the way we play every game. But you see Luke Bonner making threes. You saw us getting out on the break, Chris Lowe. The game was at our speed the whole game. The tempo of the game is what we wanted. I told a lot of people in the first half, as you see here, we got out to a good start, but we didn't necessarily play that well. And what I mean playing that well is making three-point shots. When we go in at halftime only down 3.
Which is huge.
Which was huge, because we could have been down 20 with the way we shot the ball. And in the second half, we come back out and we shoot 58%, but I told the media and everybody that the reason we won the game was because of the first half. That was the difference in the game. But as you see, everything we're doing is just, at a high level, at a high speed. Ricky Harris was absolutely tremendous. He shot an incredible percentage, 10 of 16 from the field, and really played well. But we go in at halftime, we had great we were excited at halftime.
I would imagine you were.
Our kids were smiling and had a lot of energy, and we come back out and we go on a run early. One thing we tried to do in the second half offensively is open the court up more and try to get more layups with our spread offense. It was a big shot there by Etienne. And, we just kept playing. We didn't worry about the score. We just kept playing our style of basketball. Great pass by Chris Lowe. And, again, Ricky Harris was just really on his game.
Yeah, and he's just got tremendous poise for being such a young player. And here, you're getting contributions by everybody. That was key, too.
Yeah, everybody played. Papa Lowe got in this game, played really well. Tony Gaffney, who was back home in Boston, played great. And, again, you're seeing us get a lot of layups. And that's something we wanted to try to accomplish in the second half, because in the first half, we did shoot a lot of threes, which is fine. I don't mind that. And then Gary Forbes, who had an average first half, came out second half and really, I thought, dominated the game in a lot of different ways.
Well, you guys are up 13 points here in the second half with about halfway through it. And I'm just wondering what BC was thinking at this point.
Well, again, Boston College doesn't play a lot of guys. And, the tempo, again, was at a very high speed. And I think, maybe they got fatigued a little bit, not a whole lot, but it's normal. Again, but, Oates came in, a guy who hadn't really scored a field goal all year long, made several big buckets for them. But their guys continued to play hard. I think it was just one of those games where, one team not necessarily used to playing our style of basketball.
Here was a big play right here, Chris Long. We saw him do that last year against Alabama in the NIT, and boy, what a big shot he made. And and here, Coach, the game's hanging in the balance, and you guys made some big plays.
We did make some big plays. You see Gary Correia, another freshman who got in and really contributed. But of course, they didn't stop here, and Rice goes in and one, and it goes down to the very, very end. And you got to give Boston College a lot of credit. This was a nervous moment here. We always should use the backboard, always use the backboard, and then sprint back. And when our two guys jumped past him here, I was a little concerned. But we hold on for the victory, and it was well earned. Boston College is a great basketball team, coached by an incredible basketball coach, so it was an exciting win. It was well deserved by our basketball team because of how hard we played. We really put forth a lot of effort.
All right, 83-80 was the final score. UMass with a big win, and like I said, Coach, those are ones that you're going to remember that at the end of the year, and you'll sit back years from now and you'll remember that one too.
No question. And we're able to say that because of the respect we have for Boston College and what they've accomplished in the past, 10, 11 years. So it was a very special game. But as we tell our team, that's just one game as far as what we're trying to accomplish this year. But it is a great game to build on for us.
Okay, and let's go right to the Toledo game, which took place on Saturday night, last night at the Mullen Center. You come out here, and we were going to award Gary Forbes for 1,000 points. So congratulations to him. He was also named the Atlantic 10 Player of the Week today.
Very much deserving. He had two great games this week, scoring, rebounding, doing a lot of different things for us. So very deserving for Player of the Week, second time this year. And
you played a dangerous team last night. Very tough schedule, one of the toughest in the country. They don't have a lot of wins, and a win over you guys on the road would have been huge for them. And you guys started a little slow.
Right, we did. I can't say we did not start the game or at any point running on all cylinders, and I have to say Toledo did. So you got to give them credit. They were running on all cylinders. We played good enough to win, is what we did.
Sometimes that's enough.
And that's enough. And we just can't live like that every game. We can't be that And they actually played probably a little bit faster than we did. If you even look at the stats, and which was disappointing for me as a basketball team that's supposed to be pushing the pace. I thought Toledo did a better job of it. Matt Glass got in and made a big shot right there when we were struggling to score. He gave us a big lift. But Toledo just came, they had a week to prepare for us. They really needed this game as well as we did. But, you could tell they were a team fighting for their life, because they had played the #1 schedule in America. We went on a spurt in the second half that was the difference in the game.
11-0 run.
11-0 run to start the second half, and that was the difference in the basketball game. Papa Lowe came in.
Great block.
Gave us a huge lift with great energy. There he is putting the shot back again when we were needing points. We just, as we tell our kids, we need to, out of 1 to 10, we need to play at a level 10. In this game, we probably played at about a level 6, and we never got out of it. Again, good enough to win. But you can't, that's a dangerous way to play games.
I would imagine pretty spirited halftime conversation with you with the team?
Yeah, it was more of trying to get our guys to understand. I didn't get too animated or anything like that. It was more of a serious talk than anything because we were up at halftime, which was surprising the way we played.
Yep.
But Tony Gaffney makes a 3 there in the corner. That was another big shot. Every point we just we only scored I think 60-something points or whatever it was, which is not many for us.
Right. Well, I guess maybe if it took you a little bit of time to get into a rhythm, you certainly found that rhythm in the second half, and that's what was important.
We found the rhythm. It was. We made some key plays we need to. We made our free throws, which were huge. We shot 75% from the free throw line. Chris Lowe, that was probably the biggest shot of the game for us. That 3 pretty much clinched it. But again, I give Toledo a lot of credit more than anything. More than us not necessarily playing well. Toledo really came in and fought us. We ended up playing their style of basketball. It was a well-earned win.
Again, you spread I think spreading the offense around in the second half last night was key. And like I said, I think the key is you're getting contributions from a lot of different guys. Even though Chris and Ricky Harris are kind of leading the way, everyone's chipping in.
Yeah, no question. You look at Gary Forbes and Ricky, and they were both averaging around 20 points a game, and that's been pretty regular. But Chris Lowe's picking up the points a little bit. He's had games where he's had in the 20s several times, 17, and he's done a much better job of putting some points in on the board. Tony Gaffney contributed last night with the 3. agree. And, we've got guys that can score points. The way we play, when we want to score in the 80s, 90s, and even try to hit the hundreds, you're going to need a well-balanced attack, not just one or two guys who are going to be able to score all the points.
Okay, well, 2 wins, and can't beat that with a stick. And just like the schedule maker's not kind to you, you've got another week off before you play Central Connecticut.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that team a little later in the show. When Coach and I come back, we'll have our regular segments here on the UMass Basketball Show, the play of the week, and an up-close look at number 11. Stick around. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the UMass Basketball Show, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Time for the Big Y World Class Markets Play of the Week. Obviously, we've already seen it, and Chris Lowe gets the nod against BC this week. Coach,
yeah,
what a great win.
Yeah, he made a lot of great plays in the BC game, but the one we're going to watch is definitely one of the biggest. He did a great job of getting to the rim. He did a really good job. A floater there, kept breaking down the defense. We didn't rely on the three-point shot quite as much because he was able to penetrate. Gary Forbes, same thing. But that's a big shot. And that's a shot he works on quite a bit, the floater.
Yep, and that's just like against the Alabama game back in the NIT. He made that big bucket that sealed the deal there, too.
Very similar. Chris Lowe is definitely a player that doesn't mind having the ball in his hands at the end of the game, and I don't mind him having it. He seems to make big plays. He's great with the ball in his hands, and he can score in a variety of ways. Just like, last night's game, he made a big three for us, and then in the BC game, he kept going to the rim. So he's playing his best basketball, where he did get off to maybe a slow start because of some injuries. I think now he's picking it up quite a bit.
All right, well, the Coca-Cola Minute with the Minuteman this week. Gary Correia from Providence, Rhode Island. He prepped up at Northfield Mount Herman right up the road. And, we talked earlier, too, about how a lot of guys are contributing. And he's a young player, but he's really filling his shoes well.
I'm absolutely very excited about Gary Correia. He is a player that plays with a lot of confidence every day in practice from day one. And he goes against one of the best point guards in the country, Chris Lowe, every day. And he's never backed down one single bit. And I think going against Chris has made his transition a lot easier, and that's why he's able to play right now. But Gary, he plays with a lot of confidence. He can shoot the basketball, a great shooter, a great ball handler, a great defender, somebody who's really helping our basketball team out. And it's shown by the minutes he's getting. He's going to continue to get more and more minutes as he gets older as a basketball player this year. But somebody I enjoy coaching every day because I do like the way he approaches the game. Again, it goes back to confidence. He has a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove to everybody he can play. And I saw that at Northfield Mount Herman as well when I went and watched him, that he's a kid who has just great self-confidence. And I like players like that. All
right, Gary Correia is the subject of this week's Coca-Cola Minute with the Minuteman. Here's Neil Jaffoon with a closer look.
It's Gary Correia, a.k.a. GC, from Providence, Rhode Island, point guard for UMass Minutemen.
The decision to play basketball for Coach Ford at UMass was one of the easiest decisions freshman guard Gary Correia has ever made.
UMass is a place I always wanted to come to.
For the last 3 years, Correia spending his time patrolling the court at Northfield Mount Herman with fellow UMass freshman Matt Glass. The Providence native, a three-sport standout athlete for the Hoggers, he was named the school's top athlete 3 times, managing school with football, basketball, and track and field. A great learning experience, but nothing could have fully prepared him for what's next.
My first week of practice was tough. Like the first day, I was like, wow, am I really cut out to do all of this?
Practice is one thing, game time completely different.
It was nerve-wracking. I mean, I was nervous. I'm not gonna sit here and lie about it. My first college game ever. It was probably the scariest thing I ever went through. Just the speed of the game and the terminology used and being more physical. Like high school, I can probably get to any part of the court that I really wanted to, but now I really can't do that anymore. With everybody being a whole lot bigger and stronger than I am.
Adapting is a process Correia knows all too well. He's been away from home since he was 15 years old, yet thrives on making himself better. He's seen time in every game this season, averaging just over 2 points per game while logging the most minutes of any first-year player. Plus, he's adding some flavor to the pregame rituals.
I'm a candy freak. You go up into my room, there's fishes, gummies, there's something in there. I started my freshman year in high school, so I don't know why either. Everybody else started doing it too, everyone that sits around me on the bus. As soon as I open the bag, CeeLo and Gary Forbes, that's a couple. I usually go with the yellow bag, which is the original.
Offering candy to teammates seems elementary, but ultimately brings them closer together, as does their slight obsession with video games.
We're trying to get to college hoops 2K8, so we're gonna play with ourselves, being our first video game, so that should be fun.
Now, don't get me wrong, they're not manning the controllers every waking hour, but Gary is finding time management is vital at the collegiate level.
Go to school, they told you like when you should probably do your homework and get your studies done, but hey, like with the new schedule with practice in the middle of the day and having class after it, you really like catch yourself like, wow, do I really feel like doing my homework right now or stuff like that.
In Correia's case, the answer, a resounding yes, especially when you consider his career choice.
I also want to be an agent, so I have to do like law of some sort, so I'm trying to get into that somehow. I'm actually start taking classes for that next semester, get someone like Chad Johnson and T.O. on my side. Problem child is, I mean, it'll be more exciting anyway, like always have something to say or always in the media somewhere. I mean, I'm really not one to be too much in the spotlight, so I'll probably go more with a Derek Jeter.
Gary Correia, UMass's level-headed freshman learning the ins and outs of balancing all college has to offer. Neil Jaffoon with this week's Minute with a Minuteman.
All right, Neil, thanks very much. You know, I know I've said it to you before, and just sitting here listening to that young man express himself in the story, you've got really nice kids on the team, Travis, and that's a credit to the program.
Well, we're very lucky. We do. It makes our job as coaches a lot more fun and a lot easier.
A lot easier.
You know,
I bet it does.
When you come to work every day and you look forward to seeing all the players on our team, and that's 1 through 17, ever how many we have on our team, every one of them are just incredible individuals, and Gary Correia obviously is no exception. He is just a young man. I love his approach. I love his work ethic. You know, we have individual instructions. Everything he comes to do, weightlifting, individual instruction, everything, he gives it his best. He's really focused. And again, he's just a great young man with a great confidence in himself, and he plays like that. And he's going to have an incredible career at UMass. He really is, because he can really play the game of basketball, can shoot it, handle it, pass it, can do a lot of things to help us win. And everybody loves him. He has a great personality.
Okay, well, so far so good. He's logging all those minutes.
Absolutely,
That's important.
It's been a big help, been a huge help, and he's only going to continue to contribute. And his role is probably going to get bigger and bigger as the season goes along, as well as all the freshmen will.
All right, very good. Well, when Coach and I come back, we're going to hit the court. Speaking of coaching, Travis is out there on the floor every day, so are the players, and we're going to break down some of what they work on Monday through Friday. The UMass Basketball Show brought to you by Coke. We'll be right back. And welcome back to the UMass Basketball Show brought to you by Coca-Cola. Time for Coach's Corner, Coach, and the 444.
444 is the drill you're going to be seeing. It's 4 on 4 on 4. 3 different teams. We will have a maroon team, a white team, and a gray team. And what this drill does, it's one of our players' favorite, one of my favorite. It really works on our fast break, and it works on defensive transition as well. What it is, it starts out as a 4-on-2, and then 2 more players come in on defense, and you got to talk, you got to match up. But also it makes you, as an offensive player, recognize who's open very, very quickly and make shots. And for a team that likes to fast break, this is the perfect drill for it. And then also we can add into it our press. And as you see here, we're pressing out of it, where the defensive team cannot go past half court. They got to stop at half court, and that's when the other team picks up the offense. So it's a great drill that is a very, very fast-paced, up-tempo type basketball drill.
Now, is this one of the ones that the players like, or is this one of the ones that they dislike?
No, I think they like it because it's not a drill that stops itself a lot. It's going to go continuous for about 10 to 12 minutes without stopping. And it does show some offensive opportunities as far as opening up the court a lot, because you are 4-on-2 on several situations.
All right, it's called the 4-4-4, and it's what UMass does every week in practice. And I would imagine with no game until Saturday, Coach, you're probably going to be working these guys pretty hard this week.
They will definitely see this drill this week. I can guarantee you that. And another drill they like is called a fast break progression drill, which is probably one of the toughest drills we do. We'll be doing that quite a bit as well.
All right, very good. That is a look at Coach's Corner here on the UMass Basketball Show. Well, it's time for Ask Coach Ford. Brought to you by UMass Catering, and Jimmy from Agawam checks in, and he's talking about the schedule maker again. How difficult is it having a week without a game after starting the season with so many games up front, and having 2 wins this week?
Yeah, we've had enough breaks, but this is finals week, so we do need a break. We need our kids to focus on academics, especially early in the week. A lot of these freshmen, this is the first time they've ever had college finals, so this is new to them. So we gave them off today. We're going to give them off on Monday, and we'll get started back on Tuesday. But this is one of the toughest weeks as a coaching staff we have, and as the players, because their mind is a lot of different places. Practice is staggered between finals. There's not a lot of consistency. But we've got to be ready. We've got a very, very tough game coming up next Saturday. Very tough game. Team that's playing their best basketball of the year. But we'll use this week to get better. We'll use this week to stay in shape and make sure that we understand our offenses, defenses by the time Central Connecticut rolls around.
And I guess, too, with the first of the year coming up, and I mean, that's really when, the conference season starts, and that's really what it's all about. So there's a lot of anticipation this time of year, too.
No question, no question. This is the time of year you're still, especially us, we're still filling ourselves through. We're just taking it one game at a time. We're excited where we're at right now, being 8-2. But the understanding that anything can happen. So, we are doing everything we do is to try to prepare ourselves for conference. You want to win along the way, but you look at our conference, what it's doing right now, it's absolutely, one of the top 5 or 6 conferences in America.
Some teams are playing well.
And, so we've got to use every day, practice, games, everything we can do to prepare for our conference play.
Okay, well, when Travis and I come back, we will look ahead to the game this week. It is Central Connecticut, and we're going to talk about that. And as Travis said, that's a team that's playing pretty well right now. The UMass Basketball Show will be right back. And welcome back to the UMass Basketball Show, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Time for the UMassathletics.com look ahead. Central Connecticut coach, got a long time between now and then, and you said that's a team that's playing well right now.
Yeah, no, another team that got off to kind of a slow start, but right now they are by far playing their best basketball. You look at their victories; they've won their last 2 games against a very good Maryland, Baltimore County team that's beaten GW in our league, George Washington, and some other really good teams. And then they just came off today like a 40-point victory. So this is a team that gave us everything we wanted last year at the Mohegan Sun. Very, very well coached basketball team, and so they're going to come in ready to play. So we got to play better than we did last night. We got to really use this week to get better as a basketball team. Again, use this week for our guys to continue to understand our identity and who we are and who we want to be. And start understanding our offenses and defenses a little bit better.
All right, let's take a look. I mean, obviously the team's changed and everything else, but last year down at Mohegan Sun, you get to see some old faces.
Some old faces, absolutely.
And but they're. I've been thinking, Coach, about how Toledo, after you beat BC, really wanted you. Central Connecticut really probably wants this game.
Now, there's no question. They're going to come in here and play their best basketball. Teams do that against us. When you've done won some games like we've won, you kind of get a bullseye on your chest a little bit, and there's not going to be any different than Central Connecticut. They have great athletes.
Yep.
They got a guard, Blackwood, that can really, really score, and who hurt us last year in this game you're watching right here, who really hurt us. This was a back-and-forth game for I don't know how long. So, this is a team that, again, they've got a week just like we do to prepare. Blackwood, you see there, is averaging 16 points a game. Their record, again, very deceiving, which is tough for us coaches to try to make our players understand. You got to look at who they've played and what they've done lately. Absolutely, you can't look at what a lot of teams did early in the season. You got to look at what they've done lately. And again, they're coming off an 81-48 victory today. That's a very impressive victory against a Delaware basketball team that has good tradition. So we're going to have our hands full, no question. We've got to get ready this week for a very, very tough, hard-fought game that will come Saturday. Hopefully we'll have a big crowd at the Mullins Center and get a lot of people there.
Okay, very good. Well, listen, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a great week.
Well, it's a good week. Hopefully we can keep the ball rolling and use this week to get better in the classroom as well as on the court.
All right, very good. Travis and I will be back next week, and you all have a great week, and we'll see you next Sunday night.
The UMass Basketball Travis Ford Show is sponsored by Coca-Cola, Big Y, UMass Catering, and UMassathletics.com.